Wix is taking market share from WordPress. WordPress must be dying. Webflow, the new intuitive platform, is taking customers away from WordPress. WordPress must already be dead. Shopify makes it so easy to launch a website that WordPress is dying. These are things that I hear every single week within the web design community, and every single time I look at the statistics, it is just further from the truth. WordPress is nowhere near being dead. I've been hearing this argument since like 2015, 2016, and every time I look at the numbers come back better than what they were the previous year. So, diving into 2024 statistics from Bluehost.com. This was I don't know if we would call it a survey, a study done by them, judging market share by CMS platforms. Number one out of all CMS platforms is WordPress at a 63% market share. That's a significant number. 63% of all CMS platformed websites are on WordPress. Do you know what number two is? Number two comes in at 5.9% and is Shopify. So the second biggest competitor is Shopify, and it's at 5.9%. It is 58% lower than WordPress right there. It is way lower than the WordPress market share. Number three is Wix, sitting at 3.7%, Squarespace at 3.0%, Joomla at 2.6%, Drupal at 1.6%, Adobe at 1.5%, Google at 1%, Webflow at 1%, OpenCart 0.8%, Weebly. You get it. Like, WordPress is by far the top used CMS platform in the world. And there's a reason for that. In our agency, we operate most of our website builds on WordPress primarily because of the flexibility that it gives us. We're able to host the websites on our own servers and build out applications around the platform or within the platform as we see fit, as we need. We're able to integrate whatever we need into a WordPress website. One of the things that I really like about WordPress is you're not just given a blogging platform. It's so much more than that in 2024. It's a way to build funnels, sales pages, landing pages. It's a way to show off new content. Sure, you can blog on it as well. That is something that you can do inside of WordPress. You can do custom post types, or for those of you that use Webflow, collections. You can hook it up to your own APIs, so that way you can build an app on top of the databases that you use within WordPress. You're able to do all of that inside of WordPress. In addition, there's so many ways that WordPress has innovated itself over the last few years. And when I say innovated itself, I mean the community that has come around WordPress to make it the best version of itself that it can be, such as Elementor, making it really easy to build out new pages on WordPress. Pages that look amazing, that are easy to modify without the use of any type of code. Where some of these other platforms, you don't have the same type of flexibility that WordPress gives you. So looking at this list here, WordPress is number one. Then it goes Shopify, Wix, Squarespace. Do you know the similarities between Shopify, Wix, and Squarespace? Similarities is that they're all self-hosted. They're hosted through their parent company. Shopify is hosted by Shopify. Wix is hosted by Wix. Squarespace is hosted by Squarespace. Ultimately, you don't have creative control. So to build any type of web app or any type of advanced functionality becomes very hard, and it can become even more cost prohibitive than what it would be in WordPress. For context, most of our clients pay less than $5 a month for website hosting, right? If I go to Wix.com and I look at their pricing right here, so their Business Elite plan, which comes with unlimited storage space, something about an advanced marketing suite, advanced site analytics, and advanced e-commerce and their advanced developer platform, that's going to run $159 a month. That's more than $1,500 a year, $1,600 a year that you would be paying just to have these fairly basic functionalities inside of your Wix website. Where if I wanted this with WordPress, I could still use that $5 hosting plan that I'm talking about that a lot of our clients use that works really well. Now, when it comes to WordPress, where does the cost actually happen? Like, where are you paying for stuff? There are add-ons that you can get for WordPress. You can get Elementor Pro, which is going to cost you a few $100 a year, depending on the plan that you get. Your website hosting is going to be a significant cost typically, and there's typically other plugins that you might want to have on your website. But a lot of these plugins are either one-time purchase or a small monthly payment or small yearly payment. There's a lot of plugins that we use that only cost $20 a year for us to operate and run. Ultimately ends up being a lot cheaper than some of these other platforms. Now, if I go over to Webflow and we take a look at their pricing, Webflow pricing has always kind of baffled me, because the thing that is frustrating with Webflow, in my opinion, is that it's advertised, it's the way it's advertised. I think Webflow in of itself is a really good platform, but it advertises itself like this super easy to use product that anyone can make a website with. But that's not really the case. You still need developer knowledge inside of Webflow, especially to get the most value out of it. It ends up not being as simple as what a lot of people think. So on Webflow, their e-commerce site plans, for example, start at $29 a month and go all the way up to $212 a month. In their regular plans, which don't include any type of e-commerce functionality, you're looking anywhere between $14 a month and $39 a month billed annually. In addition, you're also limited on the CMS items that you're able to add. CMS items could be blog posts, custom post types, portfolio items, etc. Where with WordPress, we just add another line in the SQL database, which is done automatically through WordPress, and we don't have to worry about those limits beyond how much space we have on the server. Now, so you might be thinking, okay, when would I need more expensive WordPress hosting? Typically for customers that have more advanced websites that are operating more as like a web app, or something that needs to be extremely fast. It needs to be in the top 0.01% of all websites out there. That's typically when we would start recommending some better hosting. And typically a hosting provider that's going to be WordPress dedicated, that's fast, secure, and reliable, is going to run you anywhere between $20 and $50 a month for that particular type of hosting, depending on what your requirements are. So all around, it ends up coming out to being about the same cost as these other platforms, but you have a lot more functionality with WordPress. Now, really, it's no secret, the reason WordPress is so big is because of the community around it. It's not going to shock me in the next 6 to 18 months when there's an AI tool, probably a ChatGPT plugin, where it'll just spin up a WordPress website in an instant, because I bet there's someone already working that right now. That's the power of the open source community. Something that Shopify, Squarespace, Wix, they just don't have that type of functionality. There's no way for them to have that type of functionality because everything is handled in-house. There's no open source integration for really any of these outside of maybe some of the marketplaces that are on these platforms. So if we look at some data from Statista, according to data from Statista in terms of the Shopify versus WooCommerce debate, WooCommerce is at 38%, almost 39% of the total market share, while Shopify has about a 10% market share, ranking 4th in terms of dominance for e-commerce. So even inside of the e-commerce world, WordPress is still dominating. There's ultimately more innovation coming out with WordPress as time goes on, and it's one of the reasons why our company has really embraced it and we build most of our websites using it, just because it's so dynamic. It allows us to do what we need to do while also making it really easy to hand the website to the client at the end of the project. And the client's just able to go in and make changes right then and there with our documentation. So it's really easy for them to make changes down the road. They don't have to rely on a developer all the time if they don't want to. And it makes it really easy for everyone involved, both our team and the client that gets the website. Ultimately, WordPress, it's still not going anywhere. It's still not dead. I'm sure I'm going to come back to this conversation in 10 years and they're going to have a bigger market share than what they do right now. But for the time being, it's still dominating. I'd recommend it. I recommend it to all my clients, and I hope that you will consider it as well. Anyway, that being said, appreciate taking the time to watch this video and hope you have a great rest of your week.